So I'm listening to The Boogie Monster by Kyle Kinane and his comedian friend whose name escapes me right now. And so they're in the middle of talking about stuff. And Kyle Kinane says, "Holy crap," he goes, "can you hear that train whistle?" And he said, the other guy's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Right when we're going to talk about aliens and the Men in Black," he goes, "there's a train whistle." He goes, "Crap, they're already trying to disrupt what we're trying to do." I just feel... I just feel like that's probably what's going to get caught. It's just random things. And so, yeah, we're not professionals, and we don't need to pretend like we are. So, how's the week been going?
It's been going... Wait, are we recording?
Yes.
Oh, this is the thing? Okay, sorry.
Yes,
sorry. Is it bad to call attention to it?
No. I think they know that they're listening to a podcast.
Okay, good. No, things are good. It's been a fun week, a busy week, but, it's a nice, lovely evening that we're having so far tonight. Good. And yourself?
Pretty good. I feel like a horrible husband because my wife is home not feeling the greatest. She's not sick. She's just not feeling good. And so, and I'd completely forgot we'd scheduled the podcast for tonight until you texted me earlier today.
Wow.
And so
you were the one who said, "Let me check with my wife," and then said, "Yeah, Tuesday, 6:30 to 7, I'll be there."
Yeah, it was fine, and then we both forgot about it.
Notice I texted you and said, "Where are we doing this at? My place or yours?" So... shoes on the other foot, eh?
Yeah. I don't know anything about shoes, but I guess the blame's over here.
I don't know.
Anyways.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. That's the reason why we're doing a podcast and not writing.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine me trying... I write still like I did in the 3rd grade. Still.
Yeah, but still, that was better than most people at Cedar Ridge wrote their senior year. So...
yeah, that's fair.
To all of our Cedar Ridge listeners, we don't care.
Yeah. Let's face it, you can't read.
And not do math either. Anyways, and with that insult, welcome to the Nerdom of God Podcast.
Nerdom of God! Applause in the back.
Where we talk about nerdy stuff and how nerd culture accepts everybody, and also how Jesus shows love to everyone. And so we're off to a great start by insulting people and their reading abilities.
That's what we're here for, yeah. Nothing if not encouragement.
If you have followed this podcast, it has sparsely been put on over a random schedule over like the last year, which only 2 podcasts have come out. If you followed us for that, thank you for still listening.
Thanks for trying to listen to the 3rd one. But take heart because we are much more disciplined than we were last year. And we'll probably, most likely, do more of these. So there will be more to come in more of a routine fashion.
Yeah, and there'll be at least 2 more because we're recording 2 tonight. So
don't give that away. Oh my gosh. We could have pretended like the other one was a month from now.
But we're not that good, and so that didn't happen. Just know that the format will be a little bit different. We decided that we're just going to shoot the stuff tonight.
It's G-rated podcast.
Yeah, it's a G-rated podcast. This is appearing right now on Disney Channel. It's the Disney Channel edited version. Speaking of Disney Channel, did you know that Disney helped fund Pulp Fiction?
What?
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of Disney.
No, they didn't ever have the name on it, but that Disney owned Miramax, and Miramax helped put out Pulp Fiction. And so, in a way, the House of Mouse helped fund the F-bomb bonanza and coke-induced rage-filled Tarantino nightmare that is Pulp Fiction.
I never knew that. I was just talking about Pulp Fiction with a friend yesterday. They hadn't seen it, and it was just like... he was older. It was like 40 years old. So yeah. How did you not see it? I've seen it multiple times.
I think that once you hit a certain point, you can't see it. I feel like that's a very early 20s coming into your own. I feel like, at least it was for me, like Pulp Fiction and some of like Scorsese's earlier stuff that I hadn't saw, and like even The Departed. It was like when I came into my own about movies. Because, like, I saw Dad like classic films and stuff like that, and I saw Star Wars and saw Spielberg stuff and everything else, but seeing something that was a lot more gritty and not as everyone coming in, because, like, Tarantino's a hard pill to swallow. If you don't like him, you don't like him. Like, you can't make yourself like him. And I really feel like that is a very late teens, early 20s type of experience that everyone needs to have with a film, whether it be Pulp Fiction or Scorsese stuff. Usually it involves a lot of F-bombs, but a lot of deeper, like, philosophical message.
Oh, for sure. And the thing I liked about Tarantino is he, like, chapters his movies. So, for me, it was sometimes hard to get overarching themes or really tell, like the cuts or what the movie's trying to tell you. No, he'll just tell you, okay, chapter 3, this is the damsel in distress part. So you know exactly what to expect. And then it's easier to recall the movie because you're like, oh, there was a nice segue into that portion of the movie. I like that.
Did you know? Did you ever watch Reservoir Dogs?
Did, yes.
Did you know that Mr. Oh crap! Who's the one that that tortures the dude, cuts off the dude's ear with the straight razor and says, "Can you hear me now?" or whatever. It's Mr.
It's either blonde or pink or brown or black or white or one of the colors.
Mr. Brown, I'm Mr. Beep. But I can't remember which one it is. But did you know that him and Vincent Vega are brothers? John Travolta's character in Pulp Fiction, that Tarantino has come out and said that they are brothers, that takes place in the same universe Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction does.
No, did not.
And that led to the fan theory that all Tarantino's films are connected.
Mr. Blonde.
Mr. Blonde.
Vince Vega.
Yeah.
Vic Vega.
Yeah, Vic Vega, and then Vincent is his.
Interesting. Did not know that.
Also, funny thing, if you watch Pulp Fiction, every time John Travolta goes to the bathroom, bad stuff happens.
Sometimes to him.
Yeah, sometimes
spoilers.
To him. Yeah, spoilers.
Actually,
if you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, just like
no, shame on you if you've not. Wait, unless you're out of that 20-something window, then
or
he dies.
Like you're like an early teen, you don't even be watching stuff like that anyways until you get a little more maturity. But yeah, he when he goes to the bathroom in the diner, he comes out and the place has been held up by Honey Bunny and whatever the other one was, and then. When he goes to the bathroom, when he brings Uma Thurman's character home, she ODs on cocaine.
Cocaine!
And then when he goes to the bathroom after he's supposed to be guarding Bruce Willis's apartment, Bruce Willis comes in and grabs the Uzi and shoots him when he comes out. So
he had a rough day.
He did have a rough day.
But who leaves their Uzi on the kitchen table or the counter while he takes a dump in a stranger's house?
Also, did you know that when he comes out and says, "Man," he's talking about someone keying his car.
Yeah.
Do you know that that's Bruce Willis's character? Because that takes place after they run into Bruce Willis's character when he's going to talk to Ving Rhames' character.
Oh no!
Bruce Willis is the one who keyed Vincent Vega's car on his way out.
Okay, that kind of is a bummer. And see, that's what's so hard about that movie, though, is to keep up with what in the world's happening.
Yeah. Speaking of not knowing what in the world's happening, I went and saw Suicide Squad, and that's how I felt the entire time.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about Suicide Squad, because I don't even want to say that it merits talking about, but I have frustrations that I need to vent, and this is a good medium to vent them. Here's my PowerPoint presentation on okay. No, I did not totally hate Suicide Squad. There were some redeeming qualities and some things I liked about Suicide Squad. But what I kept coming back to on that movie is just it could not figure out what it wanted to be. Ultimately, the movie, the whole time watching it for me was I just felt like they kept passing the camera around at a party,
yeah.
And you were like, okay, well, I just was starting to kind of be on board with what was happening here. And okay, no, that's not important because we're doing this.
There's 15 tone shifts in the movie. I really liked what it had going on at the beginning because, let's be honest, Enchantress at the beginning of the movie is creepy as all get out. They played up the creepiness factor of it. And okay, this is going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy, except if you didn't live in Happy Marvel Land and it was in gritty DC Land. I'm cool with that. And then the tone shifted, and it shifted 5 other times. I totally agree, yeah.
It was... That movie... I think what frustrated me the most, and I said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times, that movie had one of the best trailers. I think I even tweeted after watching that trailer, there should be Oscar category for trailers. If you make a baller trailer, you deserve credit, because whoever made the trailer to the Suicide Squad made an epic trailer, an awesome trailer. Everyone got excited about it because of the trailer, because it looked not just like a fun movie, but it looked like an engaging, thrilling movie. So then when I watched the movie and I realized half what I saw in that trailer wasn't in the movie, and the movie tried so hard, and that was the problem. They tried so hard to be fun, and watching interviews now with the Jared Leto's and the Margot Robbies and the people involved with the movie, realizing, oh wow, they cut out a whole lot of that. Oh, and they really jacked with the movie. After the movie was done, after it was filmed, they went back and did stuff. It just made me kind of cry, because it makes me wonder, what could that movie have been? Yeah,
they shied away from being dark, and that we get on to other DC films for being too dark, but dark humor is what that movie did. That's what the Suicide Squad is all about. The line from Mel Gibson, he goes, "Well, you gotta understand that we're the patsies." That whole very much doom is coming, and we're gonna raise a middle finger to it and drink a shot of whiskey while it's happening. Like, I like dark humor, and I wish that had happened. I wish they had stuck with that mood and that tone. Because if it had been a dark humor to where a very macabre humor to where they're basically laughing about death, I'd been cool with that.
But also what frustrated me with the movie was that over and over and over the movie tells you, like, we're bad guys. Hey, don't forget, we're the bad guys. It's what we do. We're bad guys. Okay, like, over and over and over the movie, I can think of 3 or 4 instances where, like, a character says that group is the bad guys. The problem is, I never really felt threatened by the characters. Like, knowing a little bit about the comics and having watched a lot of the animated flicks, like, it really frustrated me to really not feel like Harley Quinn was really crazy or dangerous. Yeah, she attacked some guards, sure. But, like, don't show me, like, Deadshot being a mercenary, not just killing one mob guy.
With a stupid ricochet shot. Show me, like, him, like Daredevil season 2, whenever like the Punisher just mows down all the mob Irish dudes, like just slaughters them. Spoilers. That was like an epic, dark, like, holy cow, this guy is serious. Like, show me that about Deadshot, like getting paid to just be ruthless. So that then instead, I feel like he's basically a good guy Deadshot with a kid, and it like he was totally played like yeah, sure he's a criminal, sure we meet him in prison. But at no point did I really feel like him, even Killer Croc. Like, for one, they just gave too much crappy backstory to Harley Quinn and Deadshot, and then they didn't give enough love to the Diablos or to the Killer Crocs. And sidebar, because now I'm ranting because I'm so frustrated by this movie. Katana. I don't know anything about Katana in the comics, but I know that she had a crappy intro to the movie. Like, in the fact that she literally just shows up, steps on the helicopter as it's taking off, as if she wouldn't have showed up, it wouldn't have mattered unless they just perfectly timed her walking up to the helicopter. But the problem is, I would totally watch a Katana movie. Like, 1,000 times. Like, just knowing, like, for one, how'd she become so awesome with that sword? How did her husband get killed? What's up with the sword that, like, traps souls? Like, and she was, like, a really kind of compelling character that they gave me no reason to like her. Yeah. Well, and here's another thing. The reason why you didn't feel that they're criminals is, first of all, they don't do any criminal activity after they get out of jail. You know, like Captain Boomerang's over here drinking energy shots and acting like, you know, a complete cretin. But, like, nothing was criminal about it. Like, literally nothing was criminal about it. And that's the issue. And, like, yeah, they try to show the criminality of it while they're in prison, but they also showed that prison to literally be the crappiest prison that is literally the Azkaban of American prisons. Mm. Like, I don't care if the guards die because they all apparently abuse the prisoners.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, I don't really... You know, if you'd shown that prison to be an upright prison and they're just rude and, riled up to be rude and riled up, okay, kind of get behind it a little more. If you showed them actually committing crimes like you said, that would have been great. But they showed them killing corrupt and abusing guards. That's what they showed.
Yep. And then on top of that, think about the first action shot we really get with Deadshot after the prison. What does he do? He rescues basically and protects everyone by jumping up on the car, heroically killing every bad guy coming at them. And then he gets off and he just says something smart like to Flag. But all in that vein of, like, that's how I, walk away, or that's how I run. Like, showing that, no, if anything, I feel like this is a good guy. This is a hero. The biggest, like, drama queen is Diablo, who just doesn't want to use his powers. But
the sad thing is he is the best character arc out of anything there.
He really does.
Like, I actually gave a crap when he died. Like, that's the issue.
I gave a crap, but also I kind of called bull crap on that. So, again, we need to go back and put a big spoiler warning at the beginning of this podcast. But Diablo turns into, like, some Mayan-looking devil guy and totally whoops the bad guy, the brother of the Enchantress. But then they still need a bomb to blow him up. Like, he's literally kicking the crap out. He melts through the dude's chest. And you're like, oh, okay, well, this is why even... And then, next thing we know, Clint Eastwood's son dies underwater to make a bomb go off for Diablo to what? Sacrifice himself?
And that's another thing about that whole really fake premise. I'm about to rant on another side of that. Is that you want us to know that these guys are the bad guys, but who does Flag mourn? He doesn't mourn his guy that he must have gone on missions with before and his brother in arms. He mourns the guy that he's been calling a criminal the entire time and who killed his entire family. And so, like, the character development's uneven and all sorts of stuff. And also, I hated the fact that they even brought in the brother of Enchantress. Like, I feel like you didn't give that villain a chance to stand on their own, because she's creepy as all get out at the very beginning of the movie.
She's super creepy.
And then she turns into a MacGuffin, and she stands there with her hands held high
and does the Macarena.
And yeah, pretty much
the whole time that, like, we see her once she transforms and gets her heart is literally she's doing the Macarena in front of a strobe light, is what it looks like. And the whole time I'm sitting there going, like, that's the bad guy? Like, that's what everyone's afraid of? Like, but whenever it shows her, like, in the presidential type briefing, where she's like, that creepy hand comes up and then turns into the Enchantress, that's creepy as balls. The whole time I'm sitting there going, like, oh, this could be a bad Mamma Jamma. But no, her brother does all the dirty work.
And he doesn't even do any really dirty work. Like, he reminds me so much of the weapon from the first Thor movie. To the Destroyer. The Destroyer comes in and you just had, like, that's all I got. Big, tall, hulking dude who has powerful laser stuff.
Yep, who then gets owned when the main character shows up. But pre-main character, nothing can touch it. Think about it. He destroyed so many helicopters and tanks and soldiers. But then, as soon as our 4 or 5 people show up, 3 of which have no powers, he gets owned. It's just like, bleh.
And talking about, these are the baddest people on the planet. Like, sorry, Superman, without his restraint, just flies through every single one of these people, except for maybe Diablo, and maybe not Killer Croc. Like, that's about it.
Maybe not. Oh, poor Killer Croc. No character development whatsoever. We know nothing about him.
Does have the best line in the entire film, though.
If you say it's because he says I'm beautiful.
Yes.
I hated it.
The best moment, like, literally, like, because it had become such a drudge at that moment. Maybe it's because in comparison, it was such a drudge up to that moment, and everything's going so slow, and you're looking at any point of levity and kind of things being A-okay, and then all of a sudden Killer Croc comes, I'm beautiful, and flashes that stupid smile and flips his hood up. You're like, okay.
Which I disagree, because then you have Harley Quinn saying, like, we're all, like, beautiful on the inside, but ugly on the outside. Oh, except Killer Croc. He's ugly on the outside, too. No, I'm not. I'm beautiful. Yeah, you are. It was just like a total, like, it was like bad editing. The way it was edited, it was like a quick, because what they did was they set her up to say that, him to say I'm beautiful, and then her to go right back as if like, oh, yeah, you totally are. But not addressing the fact that she had just said, no, he's just ugly on the outside.
Yeah, it was weird editing, but I don't feel like that's Killer Croc's fault. Like, I feel like the line was delivered perfectly. The line was delivered perfectly. It just literally, the performances were okay. It was literally, most of the stuff was post-production that just sucked. Editing sucked. All the stuff that came down from the pipe, from Warner Brothers and DC, it just sucked the life out of a movie.
Well, and Jared Leto even said in an interview, like, dude, straight up, just they were asked, so like, what got cut, like, for the movie, and his response was, what didn't get cut?
Yeah, so his entire performance, they say, got cut. They said if his performance had stayed in, even half of it had been in a rated R film. Right,
which okay, that's fine. Like, look at what Deadpool did.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, different universe, it's self-aware, it's whatever, but give me that, like. Maybe the problem with Batman vs. Superman was the fact that, like, they went super dark, but they were too afraid to go, like, that dark.
Yeah.
But then Suicide Squad literally have the word suicide in the title, and were afraid to really get down and dark into, think about all the shows of the world, the Punishers in the Daredevil series that we love, the Frank Underwoods in the House of Cards that are despicable, but we find ourselves rooting for. Like give me that type of Suicide Squad where these are bad, murderous criminals, but there's something like engaging and charismatic about them that makes you just kind of want to watch their story. I didn't get that. I just didn't get that from this movie, and it just bummed me out because it had so much what I felt like was like valid potential. Don't get me wrong, not a big fan of Jared Leto's Joker.
Hated it.
And but at first I was like, well, it's because this movie set him up as like an actual gangster. Like, they set him up as he's a gangster with chains and a grill and tattoos and a cane. But then I realized, though I love the Heath Ledger Joker, rest in peace, the thing that bothered me the most was maybe it wasn't all Jared Leto's fault. Maybe like you're talking about, like the post-production, the poor editing, the bad movie-making choices, maybe that is what made this movie suck so bad.
Yeah, here's I think DC's main problem, and I just now thought of narrowing it down, is the fact that they want to make this dark, gritty universe, and that's perfectly fine because you want to be the antithesis to Marvel movies. But the problem is this: you sacrifice what characters truly are to make it gritty. Like, for instance, Man of Steel, grittiest part of the entire film is what? Darkest part of the entire...
Snaps, Sod's neck.
Yes, you literally made the one character in the DC universe that doesn't kill people, regardless. The beacon of hope and light and truth in the DC universe. And what do you have him do?
Just commit stone cold murder.
Yeah, commit stone cold murder. And then go Darth Vader, no type of thing to make it everything smooth over.
Oh no, there's regret.
Yeah. And then Batman. Batman's supposed to be above criminals, and what do you have him doing? Batman versus Superman? You have him branding people.
True.
You have him branding people and then shooting guns.
And throwing grenades in rooms with people and watching them go boom.
Yeah. Like, you literally sacrifice you're sacrificing what is the essence of characters to make the gritty part, and that's what happened in Suicide Squad. I feel like that's what happens with Joker. Oh, you want to make someone that's relatable to younger generation and make him seem like he's a gangster and all this other stuff, and then they threw in. Here's what's even like the pickle on the crap sandwich that is that entire. All right, let's make Joker a gangster. Who do they come in to play as the black thug that has to play tribute to him? They bring in Common, who literally has played every single black thug that is slightly well-spoken character for like the last 10 years. Smoking Aces, he played that character, except he played the bodyguard. Like, he plays that character all the time, and I'm like, could you be any more stereotypical in the way you want to handle him as this?
Oh, totally. And what frustrated me the most about that scene, I believe, is the fact that it was just a bad scene. Like, it was just, like, you don't get Joker's motivation at all, and you could have, and then whenever it's over and you realize, oh, what he's trying to show is, like, how much he cares for Harley, but then, like, you realize, well, you could have done, like, why didn't you call me? Like, I could have helped you so many ways. Like, that's what frustrates me the most about some of these movies. You're like, literally a phone call, and I could have fixed this for you. Because, like, yeah, you have, like, Joker setting Common up to be in a bad position, but then Common's character's trying to be like, no, we're cool. It's just it's not even showing that Joker's like crazy. It's just Joker's a dick.
Yeah, and what's really crazy about that is also I'm totally distracted in that scene from Harley Quinn taking, I can't remember what she was holding at the time, but acting like she's shooting people, like she's having a conniption fit inside of a bird cage.
Oh yeah. It's like a rope hanging down or
and
something.
She's acting. I'm like.
Wait, and what I keep coming back to is so much, and going back to that scene when they're at the bar, you just look at it and you realize, like, half of what was in the trailers was not in this scene at the bar. Like, the whole scene where Deadshot's like, what am I, 12? Whiskey, come on. And then Diablo, that scene of, like, water, good idea, honey. Like, those are good scenes about showing, like, them kind of coming together. Yeah. And I even read a thing that said there was a cut scene that's part of the post-production thing that they changed, was the fact that they were going to have the Joker show up, tell Harley to come with him, and Harley choose to stay with the group to sort of show Harley, for once in her life, making a decision, or once in her relationship with Joker, making a decision for herself to stay with the Suicide Squad and leave the Joker and ignore him. And that's when he, like, apparently is supposed to throw a grenade, and it's where in the trailers we see his face burn. None of that happens in the movie. So that's why I come back to, I don't want to blame this movie for everything, because I feel like sometimes studios can come in and totally, like, jack with the director's vision. But it sounded like we had a movie, and then months before the movie comes out, they come in and change the movie. Yeah. And that's what's frustrating, because it's like, makes me want to see the director's cut, because what if I like that movie way better?
So you're telling me that something that involves Zack Snyder deserves a director's cut for it to actually be good? You're lying. You're absolutely.
I see what you're saying.
You're absolutely.
But have you seen Watchmen's director's cut?
That's what I'm saying. It's exactly what I'm pointing out, though, because I didn't watch the original version of Batman vs Superman either. I watched the director's cut at first.
Did not know that. Okay.
And so that movie was a lot better. Than what I heard, and they said, everyone I've said that's watched both says watch the director's cut, don't even bother with the original.
Interesting. And
so I've watched it, and I liked Watchmen as it was because I was a fan of the graphic novel. Yeah. But the director's cut's even better.
Yep, I agree a lot. Okay, well that's fair. And I don't want to spend all of our time just ranting about the Suicide Squad because I think we pretty
much have. We've spent like 20 minutes over it.
Whatever. It's worth it though because it's like, okay, so I come back to the fact that DC's animated movies are so good. Like there's so many like in like Doom and Under the Red Hood and Year One and Public Enemies and Gotham Knight. Like these are like DC animated movies that are just good. There's no other way. They're like I can watch those movies at any time and just enjoy them. And then I start looking at like their films that they've put out, and I realize, yeah, Man of Steel is pretty fun. I like a lot of it, but not all of it. And yeah, Batman vs Superman. Like we're talking about having to watch the director's cut to even like it. We're talking about hoping that the Suicide Squad will have a good director's cut to like it. And it makes me sad because it's like, how can you have guys literally draw a story and it'd be awesome, and then sink $250 million into a movie and it just be meh?
And literally have some of the greatest acting talent that's come out in the last, you're having young stars, you're having people who have won Oscars or been nominated for Oscars like the last 7 years. Like Jared Leto's won an Oscar, Margot Robbie was nominated for an Oscar. Like you have people that should, that are in contention all the time, and then you just can't pull it together. By the way, we're going to switch back to the anime movies, but I was going to say something. Here's one of the biggest things I have with Suicide Squad is it seemed like all the time, like Jared Leto and Harley Quinn and everyone else had to basically, like, I feel like they screamed at me all the time, like, I'm crazy, I'm psychotic, look at me be psychotic and crazy. Mm-hmm. And that was the great thing, like, and I hate to compare Leto's Joker to Heath Ledger's Joker. That was the great thing about that universe, was that it was so, and of course it's Christopher Nolan directed, and I get it, and then he wrote and everything.
Nolan!
Yeah, exactly.
sorry, I'm going to shout out.
Hopefully he'll appear.
Yeah.
Like Shazam, like you turned into Christopher Nolan. Anyway.
I wish I could do a British accent. I would just be him right now.
So does that make me Jonathan Nolan? Does that make me the brother?
Yeah, but see, you're the better writer. So that's a win.
Okay, fair enough.
If my friend Nicholas could be here, he would go just off on how much he loves Christopher Nolan and that Joker, because like speaking to your point, like that Joker was just the Joker. We felt comfortable and we didn't feel like he was overacting. We just felt like in this world and the same with the Batman though. Think about it. Remember in the Dark Knight Rises when Catwoman tries to use a gun and he hits the gun out of her hand and he's like, no guns. Well, that's no fun. And then they fight, and like it shows like he stands above something, though he may be a vigilante.
Well, and the great thing was this, though, is that, like, literally the antithesis to what Suicide Squad is like, I'm psychotic, I'm crazy all the time, was, do you remember the scene where someone calls Joker crazy?
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not.
Like
and then he's trying to talk at one point in the movie, and then they call him a freak, and he's like, he just stops what he's saying to then go to something else, because he's like not even going to acknowledge what they're saying. Like he knows he's not crazy. He actually, I mean, think about the whole beginning of it when he was like,
well, his whole angle is that I'm the sanest person in the room. I'm ahead of the curve.
Yep, exactly. And so, what doesn't kill you only makes you stranger. Like, he just throws out what could be the status quo, because to him, it's like there is no right or wrong.
And I feel like out of that premise, though, you get a Joker that could go 1,000 different directions. But when you go the way they decided to take Jared Leto's version of the Joker and say he's going to be a mob boss who's crazy, you very much limit that character to not be able to be as versatile as he was. Yeah, Joker's played the crime boss before, but also he's played the people who wrecked the crime syndicates. You know what I mean? And played outside of that rule. Anyway, so let's get back to the Justice League not Justice League, but the animated stuff. And even going back, like to your point, like going way back, Mask of the Phantasm and Sub-Zero, like from the Batman animated series stuff, is wonderful. Like it's some of the best things, and Kevin Conroy kills it as Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like he is. I would say you would have to put him as one of the top 2 Batmen, because he does Bruce Wayne and he does Batman so well.
Yeah.
And I know it's the voice, but...
It's the voice, but, like, there's something about the fact that is Batman. Like, you can visualize a Batman, and that's the voice you hear. Like, that just says something to his acting prowess. It's just like people go back to the animated Joker, being Mark Hamill. There's people who literally say, like, you've got Jared Leto, and his Joker's the psychopath, and you've got Heath Ledger's, and his is the anarchist, and you've got Jack Nicholson's, and his is the gangster. But then you show a picture of Mark Hamill, like, that's the Joker. Yeah. Because he literally, he doesn't embody so much a visual representation because he's been drawn so many different ways, but what he embodies is just like the cackle, the laugh, the fury, the anger, the jokes. And I mean, the animated movies are so interesting. I watched Return of the Joker just this weekend, and it's just such a good, like, yeah, it's in the future, you know, and it's the Batman Beyond world, but you see like that Joker just like just permeate like through the screen, and it's so well done. So like Mark Hamill's so good at what he does.
Well, in Dark Knight Returns, that version of the Joker is wonderful, where literally Joker snaps his own neck just to frame Batman as a murderer again. Like like they've done everything so well, and they've taken beloved comics, and turned them into like masterpieces that comic lovers like, and they're also able to satiate people who just randomly come into it and want to watch a Batman movie, and they choose that movie. Like, they don't have to know anything about the comics and still be like all blown away.
Oh, totally. Totally. But
Marvel animated films, not so much. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on them. Still, one of my favorite memories with you is the Ultimate Avengers 2, where they do the
gag reel.
Yeah, gag reel. It's like, hey, Tony's House of Ribs, and it's Tony Stark talking. Asgardian meat.
Yeah, it's like made out of dirt and human hair. I just, very much so remember that when the dude's in space and like the Kree or whatever attack.
Yeah, incoming.
And he's like, thanks a lot, jerk. And he's like floating off in space. Like those are growing up together, watching weird random things late at night and just cracking up for like an hour.
We rewound that probably 10 times.
Oh, I'm sure.
Watched it each time.
Because that was probably 8 years ago, and we still remember it so vividly.
By the way, talking about our conversation about movies that make you an adult, we watched Departed together for the first time.
Yes.
And my favorite story from that, spoiler alert for The Departed, by the way, if you haven't seen it, you need to go see it. Scorsese is amazing. Is when Leonardo DiCaprio has Matt Damon, and you have that one frame that it stays down the entire elevator out, and the elevator doors open, and the frame is just a slight further back. Mm-hmm. And right when they open that up, you go, something's about to happen! And then that's when Leonardo DiCaprio's character gets capped.
Oh, yeah.
And so, do you remember that?
I do,
because it's the first time we'd ever seen it, and you just screamed it. Like, you go, something's about to happen! And just pop!
Because like, you see it, there's just a quick like shift.
Yeah, it's a little further out.
And it's like, oh shit. And then boom! And you're like, no, and then the movie just takes for the next like 10 minutes. You're just like having a heart attack watching all the things happen.
Seriously, Mark Wahlberg's introduction is still wonderful, and that very end where he's been gone for like a third of the movie at this point,
yeah,
and then just coming in. And like what's so great is that he's in the hairnet, he's got the gloves, he's got the covers on his
shoes. Yeah,
like that is what a cop would do if he was going to kill someone.
Yep, he comes in, has it all planned out. He's just waiting for him to come in. Boom, done. Takes it all off, leaves. Boom, nothing ever happened. You can't prove that he was there. So good. That's a great movie.
It is.
Scorsese does good stuff.
He does all the time. I hate though that a lot of this generation. Below us, their introduction of Scorsese will be Wolf of Wall Street. It's a great film, but it's not his best. It's nowhere near his best.
No, I agree. It is kind of funny.
Speaking of movies that everyone needs to go see, what we're hoping is going to be that is Rogue One. And, new trailer came out. It dropped. International trailer. I haven't seen it, but I saw it. The headline is that they will have Death Troopers. I haven't seen the international trailer yet, but I'm kind of excited for that.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be pretty epic. And it actually dropped a lot of, like... not spoilers, but something unique about the trailer was it gives something away to the plot that is like kind of huge. Mm-hmm. Just in that one of the main characters, the dude in the white getup, I forget his name, but he's like possibly helping the rebellion, and so it's going to be really interesting to see if that's really how it plays out, because it looks as though he's the one who possibly designed the Death Star, but didn't want it used the way it's being used, and so he's trying to help the rebellion figure out a way to destroy it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It scares me because it's the first Star Wars movie after Episode 7. It's the first solo Star Wars film. Mm-hmm. and it's a different tone than a Star Wars film has taken. And so, like, it's got a lot more going for it. Also, it's probably the first time to where where Star Wars had an ensemble cast that's bigger than 3. I mean, main characters. And so I'm really excited. It does have the best one-line trailer tag I've ever seen, though, is that, isn't this a rebellion? I rebel.
Oh, yeah.
It's still probably one of the better trailer scenes, because when the first time she said it, you're like, oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just really good.
I like Felicity Jones a whole lot, and I do agree. And it's been Mendelsohn is the guy. He's the director of Orson Krennic. That's the dude who is in the white getup. And the look of this movie is really kind of clean and pristine, and it feels sort of like Empire to me a little bit. And A New Hope as well. But what's interesting about it is I like what they've done. It's literally titled Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. And so it sort of frees itself up from trying to be like The Force Awakens and having like a really like a overtone or like a plot device in the title, like all the other movies have had. This is like, no, this is just a Star Wars story. And dare I say, just watching the trailers that I've seen, I think I'm more excited for it than I was The Force Awakens.
Yeah, Force Awakens had in its back pocket the fact that the last Star Wars film we'd seen on screen was horrible. Like the last taste we had of Star Wars on screen.
Revenge of the Sith?
Oh, well, when I say that, the prequels.
Because we had a great experience
with
Revenge of the Sith.
We did. But just the prequels in general, it just left a really poor taste. Like, the reason why I've gone back and watched prequels, we both have, and the reason why the Revenge of the Sith is so good is not because it's actually good, it's because it's good comparatively to Episode 2 and parts of Episode 1.
You better say parts.
Yes, I said parts just for you.
Thank you.
And you know what? I've rethought my position. I will not take your position to where Episode 1 is good-ish. I will say that it is a lot tolerable than what my early 20s self would believe. Because I loved it when I was a teenager, hated it when I was like 18, 19, and 20, and then now that I've tried to go back and watch it and look at some things a little bit different. Different view.
Fair. I'll take
lightening
it.
up.
I'll take it. I'm glad to hear it because I've liked it since. But the fact that, I do agree that Rogue, it's taken a different tone, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But Rogue One, I think, has every bit of potential to be. It may not make $1 billion like The Force Awakens, but I think what it'll do is it'll solidify the fact that you can make these, if you make them good and make them well, you can make these spin-off, these one-off Star Wars movies. You can give us the Han Solo flick and we'll watch it. Not because we're just diehards of Star Wars, but make us a good movie.
Yeah. Here's what I want to happen. Eventually, if Disney's going to do this and keep the Star Wars universe going and just pumping out movies, here's what I want to happen. I want Disney to open up the floodgates to an independent filmmaker and just say, okay, give us a script about someone living a normal life inside the Star Wars galaxy and make it a character-driven thing, and we'll put it out. Not to a lot of fanfare. I would literally want to wake up and go, new Star Wars movie dropped, trailer launched last month, and now we've got the film.
That would
and
be
I want it to
epic.
be like a spice freighter, like a spice pilot or something like that, though. That would be cool to me. Also, I want to see a Top Gun style, like Flight Ace type of movie. Because, like, when I think of Rogue One and when I think of Rogue Squadron, like, I'm old school Star Wars. I think of like the X-wings and like I want that. I want something like that. I want Wedge Antilles taking over like what would be Rogue Squadron if we were in the old expanded universe.
And I think that they can do that. I mean, as long as they don't like flood us with movies, because then it'll be a little bit like, come on, stop! You're just trying to make money. But like if they'll just make quality films, like I know you and I at least will throw our money at them. Yeah,
and I'm just glad I'm not giving it to George Lucas anymore. We got this. We figured it up one day. Do you remember that when we sit down and put the math to it and figured out how much we had? Me and you had both invested into giving George Lucas.
I don't remember the dollar amount. I do remember us listing like our shirts and our posters and our movies and our video games and our books and
then we listed, I think, our hours at minimum wage.
Oh yeah, like how much we like estimated we'd watched them all.
Yeah,
because we knew we'd watched them all multiple times, and we started realizing, holy cow, we have just like. Shut up and take my money.
And then not counting, like, I don't think, might not have counted, like, the gifts that Dad had bought me and you. Like, Dad had bought me all the Rogue Squadron games and, like, had bought a GameCube specifically.
Dude,
so
I had an Episode 1 mouse pad from your dad that he'd given me, like, forever have probably in like 2001, and that thing you could barely see like the Naboo fighter on it. Like I still had it and used it.
I bought a Star Wars tie. I wore it to my 6th grade graduation, my senior
remember
graduation,
that tie.
my senior graduation, my graduation with my associates, my graduation with my bachelor's, and my graduation with my master's.
That is saying something.
Yeah.
Holy.
And so it is stuck back. If I ever decide to go get my doctorate, it'll be underneath.
I love it so much. That's awesome.
Kept it going. But of course, I don't feel how much better I feel like giving Disney my money. But you know,
but the fact that like that they've, I can handle Disney because I feel like they've put Star Wars kind of to the side and said, look, we're not just going to incorporate it into the big Disney thing because we realize it's something special.
Yeah.
Because The Force Awakens, they hired J.J. Abrams, and J.J. Abrams, he turned down the job like 17 times until they're like, no, we're going to let you make the movie you want to make.
Yeah.
And that's when he got... So if they'll just keep doing that, I mean, I'll keep buying it.
I really want Spielberg to direct a Star Wars film. He never will because he's too good friends with George. But I want to see Spielberg direct a Star Wars film.
I would just mess myself.
Yeah. I want to see it. I want to see it.
It'd be so good. So good. Did he do Minority Report?
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Never watched it.
You've never seen Minority Report?
Never seen
bro.
it.
For one, I wish you would, because this conversation would have a much better taste. Because the storyline of Minority Report could literally almost fit in a Star Wars world.
Really?
And it would be really cool to like that's what popped in my head. Like, give me that movie. Kind of, you're talking about just a guy. Like, give me a guy who's just like part of the Republic Guard. And he's like an investigator. Show me that movie.
Yeah.
And just like looking at some conspiracy or something. I would totally pay to see that movie done by Spielberg.
Two things I want to say real quick, and they just popped in my head, and I'll forget them. First of all right, they've got the scene in the trailer where the Star Destroyer is above. It's on a desert planet, and it's got the red fortress sticking up. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
There's a scene to where there's one, and it's not Jabba's palace, but it kind of alludes to Jabba's palace. And there's lots of stuff like that in Star Wars story, like, oh, this kind of looks like this. Mm-hmm. So the question I have to ask is this: do you think that is just literally? I know it's filmmakers saying, oh yeah, look at us, we're in the Star Wars universe. I'm calling back to this earlier Star Wars moment that you loved. But wouldn't it be cool if it was more along the lines if they somehow worked that in to where this is just the aesthetic in this galaxy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like
I can see that.
I feel like it's cheesy to call it back all the time, but also if I can get behind that this is an aesthetic in this galaxy,
yeah.
Because the Republic's been around for thousands of years, so the influence is spread out. And so the architectural styles will be similar.
Yep.
And just mixed with native populations. I would be cool with that.
I can buy that. I mean, like, I've traveled quite a bit, and you go to certain cities and countries and whatever, and you'll see sort of like that old flavor of architecture, but all of a sudden you see a building that's like 500 years next to a building that's like 100 years old or 20 years old. You just, like, there's differences, but there's an incorporation of the culture and of the architecture. And yeah, I could totally get behind that, because at the end of the day, we see a lot of desert planets, a lot of like foresty planets, a lot of rainforesty planets. So it would make sense that, yeah, a lot of it would look like, because what else are you going to like develop in this world? Because so far, all the worlds that we show up on, guess what? Everyone can breathe on. Like, Obi-Wan lands on Mustafar, you can breathe on it. You land on Hoth, you can breathe on it. Don't know how, but you can breathe on it. So, like, I just go back to it. I buy that more. It's just the aesthetic of the world, for sure.
Crappiest part of the trailer.
The freaking blind guy. I'm totally down. Maybe because I'm just a sucker for something that looks cool. And like, the fact that a blind guy's walking out just being like, yeah, do your best, Mr. Stormtroopers, and he just owns them all, like, right in front of Jin, the main character, is pretty epic. But I'm a little also nervous, like, so I'm assuming he's Force sensitive, which is cool, I'm happy about, but also, like, where did he receive his training? The dude's like 40 years old. So was he trained? Was he always blind? How does he play into it? There's a part in the end of the scene the trailer where, like, she's like, will you join me? She's clearly about to go do something heroic, and everyone stands up, and you see him like, oh, we're standing? Is that what's happening? Are we standing? And he stands up. And I'm kind of just like, I'm a little nervous at what they'll do with his character. I'm totally on board. I like him quite a bit. I'm a little nervous. If I'm being totally honest, the thing I actually like the least is not a huge Forrest Whitaker fan. And I'm a little nervous about his character because every time he talks, it's like this broken up, dramatic. He's basically like the black James T. Kirk.
That's William Shatner, just period. It's in whatever he has.
True. Okay. He's the Black William Shatner.
All right. Well, let's
drama. I'm over here now. Do you hear me? Sorry. Please continue for the drama of the podcast. Hate it.
I think that's much more a trailer. I think that might be a cut thing, actually.
Ricka.
Anyways,
maybe.
The thing, two things I'm most nervous about, and I'll tell you the thing I hate. Well, actually, one thing I'm most nervous about, then I'll tell you the thing I hate. This is going to be the first Star Wars film that we've had that will be since. Force Awakens was the first one, but this will be the first one that'll connect to the prequels. I have to acknowledge prequels. The only acknowledgement of Force Awakens was we could go back to Clone Troopers. No, this is fine. There's only acknowledgement, right?
Okay.
And so how does this new branch, and I know there's a listener out there who's like, Star Wars Rebels talks about it all the time. Like, well, I don't watch Star Wars Rebels, okay? I just don't have time to.
There's a good chance I did.
I've heard it's good.
It's good. It's really good.
I've heard it's good. But this will be the first film that'll connect it, and I'm just wondering how they're going to treat it. Like, for instance, I totally see the blind guy being a Padawan with his master being killed, and he was about to be a Jedi Knight, and I would be down with that. Like, if the guy's in his mid-30s or like early 40s, and he was about to become.
And you could easily do that with a line of dialogue.
Yeah.
Like literally a line of dialogue. Like, how do you?
Or heavily allude to it.
Or heavily allude, but like literally them sitting beside each other and then just, or talking to Forrester Whitaker. And then he says like, oh yeah, blind guy over there. Wait, hang on, I'm sure he has a name. Chirrut Imwe. You can say, yeah, Chirrut was close to being a Jedi Knight, but the Empire, like blinded him in a firefight and he escaped and sought refuge here. Boom. We already know that he was Force trained, but now he's blind, so he has to totally rely on the Force.
Thing I hated most about the trailer.
Go.
Darth Vader.
Why?
I hated the fact that they chose to reveal, like, we all knew he was going to be in the movie. It got out. But the fact they chose to reveal it, like, would just, it's a second. It's literally when Mississippi he's on screen, then he's gone.
Like the back of his head.
It's after, like, the trailer's about to close. Like, it's got to the end of it, and then, boom.
He's like,
yeah. Mm-hmm. And I hated it. Like, it was the only misstep in the entire trailer. The rest of the trailer is beautiful, and it's wonderful.
I liked it.
If they could have literally had, like, I don't know if the scene's in the movie. If it's not, they should put it in the movie. But the guy who's in all white, whose name you told me before, and I can't remember, because I'm trying to stay as much away from it as I can.
That's fine. Director Orson.
Yeah. That guy. If it had literally been, like, playing off the classic Darth Vader line of what is thy bidding, my master, or what is your bidding, Lord Vader, or something like that. Yeah. I would rather have done it like that
than just show his head.
Just flash up and then
the back of your head is ridiculous.
It especially was in Empire Strikes Back. That's literally a scene that still haunts me. Is when and
it showed it literally in the black Pokeball of Darth Vader coming open or whatever.
It literally looks like a tube of toothpaste that someone has squeezed out the top. That's the very top part of it.
Fair. Ugh. Well, I mean, I can understand you not liking that. I kind of liked it just because it's like a little like you watch the trailer, you love it, you think it's over, and then all of a sudden there's like, ooh, there's just like a little something extra. Like, yeah, we know Darth Vader's going to be in it, we've known that, but it's cool to see him. You just see him, and that's exciting.
See, I just don't.
That's fine. Agree to disagree, but I'm right.
I can't get behind it. Darth Vader was always the greatest when he was the veiled threat, meaning the fact that Darth Vader is coming, but he's not there, and I feel like that would have been a better way to introduce him. I would have literally been.
But in a trailer, you can't in the context of a trailer, I understand why you're not going to try to give away a plot device or make a really scene. Just make a quick there he is. For all the fans that are just okay, we're acknowledging it, we're enjoying it. It doesn't take away from the trailer, I think. It's the trailer is the trailer. And then we get, guess what? In probably another month or two, we'll get another trailer with an extra 15 seconds. And maybe in that trailer, we'll see a little Darth Vader action.
I don't like it. I do not like it. Literally show him walking down a ramp. Show him in the course of a trailer. It's literally like they got into the trailer oh crap, we forgot to put Darth in. That's literally what the trailer looks like. And then they say, well, it's too late. We've got the music queued up and everything else. This thing drops tomorrow. The clip where he's turning around. Put that at the end, okay?
Fair, but I think it works. I think it works, though. And I don't think anything is an afterthought with these people.
But that's the way it feels like. It's literally like the guy, like, did you ever put your footnote page on your essay? Oh, crap, no! And then literally him, like, putting one together that's just completely half-assed.
Nah, that's fair. Okay. I can see that, but it gives me hope that, okay, like, we know the story itself is going somewhere, we know that Darth Vader's going to be involved. Give me a little taste right now. Give me, in a month, who knows, they might have a whole lot of, like, him walking up or down a ramp, or being knelt to, or maybe reaching out like with the Force, or maybe just we see him just pull up his lightsaber and literally I would pass out from awesomeness. I would have been okay with James Earl Jones appearing on screen and go, hey guys, I'm going to be Darth Vader in this movie, peace out. Yeah, but he's blind like in the Sandlot beside the Asian guy.
They're both in Jedi robes. That's who his Jedi Master was.
That's who it was. I don't get it either. Yeah, exactly.
All right. On that pleasant note of the Sandlot secretly being in the Star Wars universe, we're going to call it good, guys. We totally meant to make this one about 30 minutes long, and we've run 15 minutes over it. We love each and every one of you. Jesus loves each and every one of you.
For sure.
And we hope that you hated Suicide Squad as much as we did. If you disagree with us, put it down in the comments. Or probably most of you that are listening to this know who we are. You can text us.
Very true. But unless you have good things to say, I'll ignore you.
Yeah. Remember, Jesus only says to lift up, encourage.
Yeah. Something in the Bible says that, I'm sure.
Yep.
And also rebuke. But you better not be rebuking.
Anyways, I had a really cheesy joke that was about Hadouken.
Don't make it.
I was going to make a Street Fighter reference, but
we need to wind this thing down. We don't have a good sign off, do we?
No.
We'll figure that one out.
Yeah.
No worries.
The sign off is literally what's about to come next. It's just it cutting.